Hey, it's Camo with the National Access Facebook show presented by Solis North Gulch Apartments, where taste matters. We have a great guest for you today. She's been on the show a couple of times. I think she's one of the top talents in Nashville, and I'm really honored to have her on the show. Her name's Hannah Bethel. Come on in, baby.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you.
So glad to get you on the show today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Because you're like a superstar now, or you're just close.
I'm trying.
Let's sit down and
Do
talk.
my best.
I always feel really lucky when I get you on the show because you're so talented, and it just seems like right now the time is right for you, that you're going to take off. So I feel special having you here today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a crazy past year for sure. I'm always grateful to come on and talk with you because you always ask great questions, thought-provoking, good conversation.
No pressure for today. You've got a new single out, Rhinestone Rodeo. And now your last single, that's the one that showed me that you are really ready to be in that high echelon of artists in town. And this follow-up is amazing. You're really on a roll.
Thank you.
Tell us about the new single and the video for it.
Yeah, so I just released a song called Rhinestone Rodeo a few weeks ago, and it's a song that I wrote with Tiffany Goss and Nicole Witt, who are some good friends of mine. Yeah. Yes, and awesome writers. Just totally awesome, powerful women in Nashville who I love, and it's a song about my journey in Nashville and in the music business over the last nearly 11 years that I've been in town, which is crazy.
Yeah, it hasn't always been a happy time. You've done some struggling.
For sure, yeah. There's been many seasons during my time here. I've had, especially the last couple of years right before I released Train, I really kind of struggled with, like if I should keep doing this, you know, and what I wanted my direction to be, and I really had to like get clear with myself about my intentions behind why I make music and why I create and why I'm doing this. And I'm kind of really narrowing in on the fact that I create simply because I have to, and I don't need any other reason, and it can't be because I need some kind of verification from anyone or anything outside of myself. So getting straight about that kind of reamped
That's
me
a
up.
hard realization, is because you're struggling to survive here as an artist, and trying to put together, especially when you're doing it all yourself, you're trying to be your booking agent and get shows and play dates, and it's hard. And write music and be the creative person, which is the whole reason for you being here. And it seems like now you've got that space to focus on being creative.
Yeah, totally. Well, when I came to that realization, it's terrifying because it's like the game changes completely if you start to say, well, I don't care if people like this or not. I just have to do it because it's me. That's a terrifying step to take, but it's also incredibly freeing because it releases any kind of pressure on yourself to meet any kind of expectation. And so it's super freeing. And then just being in that space of freedom, suddenly there's more time and space for everything because I'm honoring what I need. And kind of shifting into that paradigm has allowed me to just kind of get into the flow of things, you know.
I remember when I think I first interviewed you, you had just come off of doing a high school tour. This is 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah, who knows?
And so seeing how far you've come in that amount of time, and how much you've matured as a person and an artist, and now seeing you connect to this space where it's okay to just write for me and do what I do, it's amazing watching it happen. when you look back, how does it feel to you seeing your transformation in the past 11 years?
It's crazy. I feel like when I moved to Nashville, I was so young. I was 18 years old. I had like just graduated high school, and like just my perception of the world and the kind of career that I thought I might have was so limited, and it was like I had no concept of like the vastness of the journey that I was about to step into.
Yeah, because you see the stars and you think, I'm going to do that. That's easy. Mm-hmm. I'll do that.
Yeah, and I was a very like I was a very avid like learner of how things were done in Nashville. So my like initial approach as an 18-year-old was to like listen to what everybody said and then try to apply that like formula, which I'm glad that I did that, studying of the Nashville way of songwriting and going about things. But also it's very limiting when you do that to yourself, especially in regards to songwriting. I was talking to someone about this the other day. I felt when I first moved to town, there was a lot of pressure in songwriting to like create something that was a universal story that like everyone could relate to. And if you got too specific or too personal, it might become vague and people might become lost. And I think completely the opposite of that. The more personal my writing becomes, the more depth and intimacy it has. And like the more we settle into our like own unique experiences of life, like it feels like we're separating, but it actually like brings us closer together, because everyone is going through these depths of emotions and like trying to figure out what the hell they're doing here. And
like, you know, when you look at the bigger names in country music, the stuff the guys are doing is very generic, very broad, trying to appeal to everybody. But the women that are creating music, like Brandi Clark and Brandi Carlile and Ashley McBryde, it's exactly what you're saying. It's all very personal stories, very intimate, and they're creating the really meaningful music out there.
Yeah, for sure. Women are killing it right now. They're rising up and honoring their stories and standing in their power, and it's a beautiful, cool thing. And men are too.
Yeah, it's just that's not stuff that's really on the charts.
Right. Yeah.
But when you look at the other stuff, it's great, and I love how this stuff is becoming much more personal, and because you get to know the artist more, mm-hmm. and relate to them, and that's what any art is really about, is being able to relate to it, and whether it's a painting or sculpture or music. Mm-hmm. And I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I really do. Let's do a song and then we'll talk.
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
You just so happen to have a guitar.
I do. Dun dun dun. I'm prepared. What do you want to hear? Do you want to hear Rhinestone?
Yeah, let's do the first single first, or the new single first.
New single, Rhinestone Radio.
This is out right now, so you got to download it, stream it like 2 million times so she can buy a coffee.
Yeah, seriously. That's another thing we can talk about later. But
everyone's got stars in their eyes. It's easy to get blinded by the lights. You can't always hear your heart over the rowdy crowd. But man, it's worth it. Took you years to find that sound. Rhinestone rodeo, hard to stay, but you can't go too far gone to ever get back home. for the gold, land in the dirt. You kicked around and get knocked down till it don't even hurt anymore. Get back on your horse and on to the next show. Rhinestone Rodeo. Take the bull and go another round. I'm trying to tell the cowboy from the clown. But if you'd never left that little high school homecoming king, you couldn't teach that town how to dream. Rhinestone Rodeo, hard to stay, but you can't go too far gone to ever get back home. You go for the gold, land in the dirt. You kicked around and get knocked down till it don't even hurt anymore. Get back on your horse and on to the next show. Rhinestone Rodeo. Rhinestone Rodeo, hard to stay, but you can't go too far gone to ever get back home. You go for the gold, land in the dirt. You kicked around and get knocked down till it don't even hurt anymore. Get back on your horse and on to the next show. You've got rolling wheels and a million miles to go. Rhinestone Rodeo.
Very nice.
Thank you.
That's the brand new single called Rhinestone Rodeo from Hannah Bethel. I love having you as a guest on the show because your music just, it's so grounded. And I think, because we're friends on Facebook and I follow you and I'm seeing you becoming more grounded. So the music is directly tied to that. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think that there's definitely, in the past couple of years, has been a huge sense of just like coming home to myself, and I think that's part of just getting older. And,
yeah. Tell me about it. I'm really in touch with myself.
But it's a beautiful thing. It really
Yeah.
is. It really is. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all the years that I've had here.
You wouldn't be you if you hadn't gone through all of that.
Absolutely. I believe that so truly, that you need every single step to get you to where you are. And if you had taken a single step differently, you'd be somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
And I really like where I am, so I'm grateful for all of it. All the crazy.
Do you think, had you compromised your sound and tried to be what people expect of a star, you would have been further along in your career? Or do you think you're at the right place at the right time?
Well, I as a personal philosophy, I always believe that I'm in the right place at the right time, or else I would be somewhere else. And everything is as it should be. And I have had times in my career and in my life where I have compromised myself, but I also wasn't like completely adhering to what others wanted of me. So I was kind of just like in this weird in-between space where I wasn't totally pleasing people, but I wasn't totally honoring myself, and it was just like, you know, not serving anyone or anything. And so I had to kind of get clear of which side I was on, and I chose myself, and I'm glad I did.
It's like, I don't know if it's true or not, but the joke was about Michelangelo creating the statue of David, and they said, how did you create that? He said, well, I just chipped away everything that wasn't David.
I love that.
And I love that because
so
that's what your growth is as a human, and as an artist, it's chipping away all the stuff that isn't you.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I love that.
When I look at your career, that's what I see. And I don't know, it's the same for others, but with you, I guess, because I've known you for quite a while, I really have followed you and paid attention to that, and I see this gradual just chipping away. So there's Hannah.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you can see that, because that's how I feel as well. I think that like we all come into the world like purely, truly as ourselves, and then we kind of put on all these different costumes and faces and try on different things based upon like who we're raised by, where we went to school, and all of our cultural, social influences, etc. And then I think you kind of have to get like a quarter or a third of the way through your life before you start to realize what you've put on that's not part of you. And it's kind of like you start as yourself, kind of go out there a bit, and then slowly spend the rest of your life coming back to yourself.
Yeah, and when you're young, you always think, well, I don't care what other people think, but you really do.
Yeah, totally.
You really do.
And you always do. You can't help it. It's like, it's a survival tactic.
Yeah,
if you totally didn't care, you know, you'd be killed and eaten,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And especially in Nashville. But yeah, as you get older, it's just like, I really don't care what other people think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do what I do, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, I'm still creating something.
Yeah.
Your growth as an artist, I think, in the past year has been noticeable, vastly noticeable. Again, is it falling back into that getting older thing, or is it getting the right team of people with you, or is it all of that stuff?
I think all of the above.
Yeah.
All of the above, for sure. I teamed up with my amazing manager at Clip in the fall, around the time that I was releasing my last single, and certainly having someone else on my team that is just believes in me so truly and like lifts me up every single day, even days when I'm like, oh my God, that's huge too. That's so huge.
And I think as an artist, sometimes it's hard to know your worth.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I have that issue. It's, well, what do you want for that? I don't know. I just do it. You know, what do you think's fair? And you end up getting screwed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know.
So you have,
like, can you play my wedding for free? I'm like, I mean, yeah.
The favor is for exposure. Play it for exposure.
Right.
Yeah, I'll pay my rent with exposure.
Yeah.
How does that work out for you? But when somebody else can come in and see your true worth and show you that,
mm-hmm.
and you go, oh.
Yeah, that's so powerful and so amazing. And I also have an amazing group of friends and musicians in my band that do the same thing for me. They just lift me up and like push me to like want more for myself, because I tend to be like pretty like kind of reserved and humble in asking for things, and they're like, no.
But that's I think kind of the downside of being an artist is you're not an extrovert. You're an introvert doing the job of an extrovert. so your mind is always thinking, being humble, and you're afraid to ask for things.
Totally.
But if you don't ask, you don't get.
Totally.
So it's a tough journey when somebody says, no, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to do another song?
Sure.
Sweet.
Sure, that's another one. Let's see. What should I do?
House on Fire.
Should I do that one? Okay. I'll do it. This is a new one.
Oh.
It's called The House is on Fire. Try not to wiggle around in this.
It's the sofa making the noise.
Yeah, seriously.
David plays to please the Lord, and I ain't worth the fighting for. 'Cause I wasn't made for Sunday morning church. I could fly on angels' wings, and that boy still won't say a thing, and I don't think that I can make this work. God help us, the well is run dry, and he don't have a single tear to cry. I'm getting so tired, and the house is on fire. He'll swear that he can smell the smoke, but I can't breathe, no I can't cope, but he's blinded by the love we used to have. But I'm not what I thought I was. He's holding back, and I'm too much, and I don't think it's ever been this bad. Oh God help us, the well is run dry, and he don't have a single tear to cry. I'm getting so tired, and the house is on fire. He's running out of steam and faith, but he can't find the grace to say it to my face. My love is ashes all around. Yeah, we're burning down with our desire. I'm getting so tired, I'm getting so tired, and the house is on fire. The house is on fire.
Nice.
You had me so lost in that I just had to shake my head and come out of it. Yeah, like that's a great song.
Thanks.
Trust me, Hannah Bethel is an artist you need to know. If you haven't got any of her music, please go and get it. Wow, just a beautiful song.
Thanks.
It really paints a picture, and that's why like it just drew me right in. Do you get people coming up to you at shows that come and tell you that's me?
I do a lot, and it's incredibly rewarding because, like I was talking about earlier, there was this fear of getting too personal or too intimately detailed to where are people gonna get this or relate to this, and as well, like it's like truly personal parts of my life that it's kind of like scary to share.
It's like opening up a wound.
Yeah, it is. but it's also I think as artists, it is it's our job to help people connect so deeply with their pain and their emotions and the full spectrum of this life experience. And the greatest thing that I have ever done for my own healing is to just completely surrender to my pain and my heartbreak and the things that have been really difficult for me. I think the natural instinct is when you feel something painful or scary, it's to kind of like back away and like shut it out and like try and pretend it's not there. But if you can learn to just like fall into it and let it completely take over you for as long as it needs to take to move through, when you come out the other side, it's a complete rebirth, and it's still something that I'm learning to do every day with new, anxieties that I have or things that I'm going through. It's a everyday practice of trying not to keep myself from this full experience.
But when you write a song that comes out of that pain sometime, and then when you have to keep performing it, isn't it like picking the scab off every time you have to go out and do it?
It's not actually. At first it is. When I first start sharing something new, it is. But then it becomes very cathartic. And it's like the more you speak about something that was uncomfortable or traumatic, or the more comfortable you can get with like accepting it, I think the more healing it is. I think it's more painful to not talk about it. At least not healthy to talk about it.
Okay, I want to ask you one thing because you are this close to being humongous. Who would you want to open for you?
To open for me?
To open for you.
Whoa, that's a question. I don't know. I've never thought about that. I'm always like, can I open for anyone?
You should start thinking about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
You gotta come up with somebody. Give me somebody.
Oh my gosh, who I would want to open for me? Well, I have some amazing. There's a lot of artists that I'm friends with that I love, that I think are doing like just creating beautiful art and doing beautiful things in the world. But I hate to say open for me. I'd love to tour with my friend Emily Scott Robinson, who's she's a folk Americana artist, and she's just incredible.
So a co-headline.
But I wouldn't want to ask her to open for me, but co-headline, because she's so good. But she's awesome. If you haven't heard Emily Scott Robinson, check her out.
One final question. Where do you see yourself musically? Because the landscape is changing constantly, and people are less worried about, is that country, is that Americana, is that pop, is it whatever.
Totally.
They tune into the artist, and whatever you do, they're happy with. Where do you see yourself falling in that landscape?
That's a good question. I think that I'll always have a little bit of country influence to my music, just because that's kind of what I grew up listening to, and also grew up listening to a lot of 70s rock, which is very country flavored. Yeah. And but I've had a lot of love and support from the Americana community, which has been awesome. I think it's kind of a beautiful space for people to go who don't really fit in any of the top 40 radio formats, because it's so expansive. There's blues, there's rock, there's folk, there's alt country.
You're in the same awards category as Robert Plant.
Yeah, like there's so much going on in Americana. It's a really cool space. It's so inspiring, just to watch everything that's going on over there. So I guess I mean, I could see myself touring with like indie rock bands too, like because I don't fit the, you know, what's happening in mainstream country, and I'm not trying to.
Yeah, I think you get more fun when you're out of the mainstream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a blast, and you can come back anytime you've got something to talk about.
Okay.
We're here for you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Hannah Bethel, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get her new single, Rhinestone Rodeo. It's available everywhere. Mm-hmm. If it's not being played on your favorite radio station, call them up and harass them. They love that.
Yeah. Check out the video too.
Yes, the video.
CMT's is doing the broadcast premiere of the video tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Actually, the 25th, cool. Whatever day it is. I don't know. June 25th. Look for it on CMT.
Sweet. Thanks for watching. Make sure you catch me every Saturday from 3 to 7 on Hippie Radio 94.5 here in Nashville. Every Sunday at midday on Chris Country across the UK, and every Thursday morning with Jody Crosby and John Wolfe on 88.9 Tamworth FM. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Wave to her.
Bye.